It's a road game for the Thunder, and they're facing an interconference matchup in today's game. Welcome to the American Airlines Arena, home of the Miami Heat, and a great venue for basketball. Welcome to our 2K Sports broadcast. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, bringing you the NBA on a Monday afternoon. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And one of the guys we'll be seeing in this one, James Harden.
He's really the lifeblood of this team, Kevin. For the most part, everything they do revolves around him.
Their heart and soul, their heartbeat, if you will, and that should be the case because every other player on the court really looks to him for leadership. Usually the logic is that if you want to win the West, you need to get a lot of wins against the East to pad your record, guys. But the Thunders did dominate the East last season, but not as much as the other teams, and they still won the West.
It'll be the Heat off the tip. Here's Chalmers. Nice D from Durant. Well, getting back to the Thunder, as you said, Clark, they took the East to task once again. They're 21-9 against the conference. But, Steve, that was just tied for the third best in the West.
You know, I think a big part of that is that after they made it to the finals for the first time, they played with a target on their back. And I thought every team in the league knew they had to bring their A game to try to make a statement against the Thunder.
Now here's James after the miss from Perkins. 6 to shoot. Here's Bosh. Collects the two-pointer near the hoop. Bosh has got the opening basket of the game for Miami.
They get the first bucket of the game there.
And I think it's going to be a good one.
Westbrook against Chalmers. Outside for Durant. And stolen by James. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Chalmers with the ball. Stolen by Harden. Jacks up a three, and that one's good. Harden's got his first 3 points of the game.
A good open look, and he splashes home the three.
Durant against LeBron. Wade gets a screen from Battier. Wade drives in, loses his man off the screen, and lays it up and in.
And the layup just gift wrap there. He had a clear path to the basket.
Westbrook against Chalmers. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
If you look back to that 2008 draft, the then Sonics, now Thunder, took Westbrook at the 4 spot. A lot of people thought that was a reach, but you redo the draft right now, and he has a legitimate case of being the #1 pick.
Far back in the 2008 draft, Westbrook had played kind of a combo guard at UCLA, and there's some questions, I think, among a lot of scouts and personnel guys' minds about his ability to become a full-time point guard.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think you always have to look at players, not just for what they might become, but what are they when they get to you. Russell was a guy who was athletic, aggressive, hungry to get better, and when you got those attributes in his athleticism, you're going to be a difference maker in the league, and he's proven that to be the case.
Coming off a title last year, you always wonder if the team will maybe relax a little bit. They usually won't admit to it, but Chris Bosh readily said it at times that his team had a difficult time lighting that fire again.
And he gets it to go. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, 5 times already the lead has changed.
Now, here's Chalmers. From 12 feet out, and there's another one for the Heat. Go back to the basket. I think that is true for every team, Clark, that comes off a championship, but they usually don't admit it like Bosh did.
Well, you know what? Once you've won it all, there is a bit of a relief and a little malaise that may settle over you, but I've always respected Bosh's candor. He's a guy who doesn't bite his tongue, and he articulates what he feels, and I think it's impressive that they brought back to the finals once more, because that shows they eventually did recapture that fire. They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
It's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward.
Perkins kicks to Durant, and he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does it.
Well, he should stay with those basics in a tight ball game because we've got one here tonight.
And here are the Heat now, following the score by Oklahoma City. Westbrook against Chalmers. Back to Wade. Shot clock at 6. The Heat need to get a shot off. And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That's his first foul. Well, he holds the reins to this team, and we're seeing some examples of that, Steve, right now.
Yeah, they look cohesive. And, anytime he takes control, you can just feel this group come together.
Yeah, it's priceless when you have a guy who sets the example he does and then backs it up with timely communication as well as consistent performance.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Thunder. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. And here's Harden. He has 5. The 3. And Westbrook gets it to go on the assist from Ibaka. And it's 6 points for Russell Westbrook. Burke talked about a back-and-forth game. This is the definition of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, not even through the first half, and it's been one heck of a battle.
Well, these are the kinds of games you love. I mean, two good teams going head-to-head, an even matchup, and both sides very competitive, on their toes tonight.
Six left here in the opening quarter. Wade against Harden. James kicks to Battier. Back to LeBron. 5 on the clock. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
It is so hard to contain. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Oklahoma City trailer. There's 39 seconds left to play here in the first. Here's Harden, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact here. It's on Chris Bosh.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
The Thunder shooting their second and third free throws tonight.
Well, one of the highlights last season, this team shot the ball extremely well from the stripe. Huge factor.
Success at the line just became contagious for him. A few guys got on a roll, and it carried over to the rest of the team.
First free throw is good.
Well, what a series it was in the finals a year ago. Such great basketball. Two teams that like to play up-tempo. And I'll tell you, the Spurs had Miami. They had the series in the bag. They were one play away from wrapping it up in Game 6, but the miracle comeback from the Heat that led to the Game 7 victory and another title for the Miami Heat.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. The part that was interesting because the games themselves weren't particularly close through the first half of the series, but things started to get really tight when they left San Antonio after Game 5.
How about that, Kevin? You talk about things tightening up. We had a game for the ages in Game 6. 28.6 seconds to go. Spurs +5. Miami needed a miracle, and they found it in the form of timely three-point shooting and got some help from the San Antonio Spurs missing some free throws.
The Game 6 was about as intense an NBA game as you'll ever see.
Oh, it was off the chart. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's been a high-scoring, competitive game through the first quarter of play. It's the Thunder up 3. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for Oklahoma City?
Guys, they're really passing the ball well here in the first half.
You know, another factor in their offense so far has been their ability to convert and score off turnovers.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. And for Miami, look at who they've got out there. On the wings, it's D. Wade and LeBron James. Chris Bosh is out there with Shane Battier, and it's Chalmers in at the point guard position. The Heat trail by 5. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, Kevin Durant last season joined the exclusive 180 club. Over 50% from the field, 40% from three-point territory, and 90% from the line. It's the gold standard of shooting efficiency, something only 5 other players have done in NBA history. It was a goal of his going into the season, but his ultimate goal still remains, to win an NBA title. He said, quote, "The hunger is always there. That's my goal every year, to get to the top of the mountain." Guys, he knows it's a long road, but they've gotten so close. We'll see if this is his year.
Yeah, championship mentality, Doris. Good point. Thanks.
Talk about complete control. Everything working in this one for Harden. He has 12 points and a steal. That's dominance he's showing us.
You're not going to see displays like this one too often, guys.
Now, here's Chalmers. He's got 7. Back to LeBron. Shoots from the corner. It's good, and the Thunder lead is cut down to 4 on the bucket from Battier. Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter.
Battier playing the small ball 4. Stretch 4, they call it as well. At 6'8", you got the size and strength to step into that role when the matchup is right there.
That's good. Perkins got the lead up to 6 now for the Thunder.
These guys know each other well, clearly, because that was a beautiful pass.
Miami with the ball. Wade outside. LeBron James on the wing. Pass to Chalmers. From 6 away. Battier kicks to Wade. Passes it to Chalmers. Just way to shoot. That one wide left. And going back to Battier at the 4, he can play inside. He's got that, Steve, that little hook shot in the paint.
But the big thing is the reason you're playing at the 4 is to stretch out the defense. Battier can shoot the 3 from anywhere on the floor. So if you put him at the 4, now all of a sudden the lane is wide open for his teammates, and it becomes much more difficult to cover the entire floor for the defense.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City. A moment to check in with Doris Brooks. Doris?
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Scott Brooks was discussing with his players. Harden was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach said the first thing they should be thinking about is getting the ball in his hands and letting him lead the way on each and every possession. So, Kevin, change is already being made on the fly here in the second quarter.
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Stolen by Chalmers. And that one's good. Now, just a 2-point Oklahoma City lead. And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Westbrook with it. Now defended by Mario Chalmers. Westbrook passes to Harden. Fires the 3. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. 15 points for James Harden. The Heat have gotten 4 of their first 5 shots to fall in the second quarter. Outstanding shooting. Timeout called the Heat.
Russell Westbrook suffering that torn meniscus in his right knee after the collision with the Rockets' Patrick Beverley in the first round of last year's playoffs. Really just derailed the Thunder's hopes for the championship.
Here's James. No stopping him there. Jams it, and it's his foul. Just out for a 3-point play. It's on Kevin Durant.
Went for the two-hander on that swing. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Yeah, he's sensing this is a critical time in this game, guys.
The Heat have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line. Going back to Westbrook until that knee injury. He never missed a game in his 5-year NBA career. Clark, the longest consecutive games streak in the NBA.
How about going back to college and high school? Didn't miss any games there either.
True, right,
Remarkably durable. And so this is really his first experience with a major injury, Kevin. Knowing him, and his tenacity and his desire to be great, I think he's going to be able to respond just fine.
Wade gets the bucket.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Giving up these easy chances is going to do wonders for them.
Now, here's Harden. He's got 15. Kicks it to Westbrook. Here's the lob to the hoop. And Ibaka slams it in.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make it a close game. A potential momentum builder.
Here's Chalmers. Following the score by Serge Ibaka. Chalmers against Westbrook. Second chance effort. And up and in it goes with the lay-in from Chalmers. Chalmers has got 4 points now in the quarter. 104 left in the first half. Westbrook against Chalmers. It's Westbrook with the drive. Hits it out to Harden.
I'll tell you, that was double duty right there. He influenced the shot and then got back and cleaned the glass.
And Durant sends it back. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. The three from Chalmers. And the Heat are heading through.
You guys, it's his consistent shooting. It's really helped get his team into the position they're in right now. I'd like to see them go 2 for 1 here.
I would too. They need to make this a quick possession and a fruitful one too.
Or 3, Westbrook. No good. And it's Miami the other way. 26 seconds left in the first half. Bosh pushes to James. Wade against Durant. Wade gets to Chalmers. LeBron outside. Just 4 to shoot. Fires it up. Shot is no good.
That's his comfort zone. So defensively, really nice job challenging the shot.
And a tight game here as we end the first half. Heat lead by 2. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thank you, Kevin. Coach, what exactly did you do differently in that second quarter?
Well, we showed a little bit more toughness, certainly on the defensive end. And even though they have great shot blocking, we're still able to attack and have some tough misses, but that's our aggressive style.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. Guys, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report with a close contest going on out at American Airlines Arena. Miami up on top against Oklahoma City. And defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. Mario Chalmers playing great through 2 quarters. High percentage looks in the first half. Amazing work from the field, shooting in the high 60s. That's big-time bucket buying. And it was a good first half as well for the Thunder. Just a shooting exhibition so far. It seems like they can't miss from long range. James Harden has been locked in so far. His shooting percentage off the charts right now. He's got the magic touch from the field, no question about it. That'll be all for us here at the studios as we head back to the start of the third quarter with Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris. Thanks so much for joining me.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
I like that he didn't force anything in that first half. His decision-making was really flawless.
That being the case, Steve, I think they want him to be more assertive in the second half. Look to take more shots. Be a little more shot hungry, even the tough ones.
So the Thunder 5 right now. Ibaka at the 4 with Perkins at the pivot. It's Westbrook at the 1 with Harden and Durant flanking him at the 2 and 3. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
The Heat with the lead.
Well, you could see it at the start of the season. Oklahoma City was being driven by falling short in the 2012 finals. Their focus was on being the best team in the West, and they jumped on that goal right from the start.
Now here's James. Bosh passes to James. Back to Bosh. He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
And he was up over the 80% mark from the free throw line last year. I'm sure he was pretty happy with those numbers.
The first free throw is good. Both good from the line that time.
Well, as far as the league's big men go, he's one of the very best at the foul line.
Westbrook dishes to Durant. Ibaka outside. Got a piece of it. Pass to Harden. Let's go. Just 5 to shoot. That's good on the jump shot. Harden's got 17 now. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway. James kicks to Wade. Chalmers with a screen on Harden. To the wing on the left. Back to Wade. 6 on the shot clock. Inside the box. Against the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. That one on Perkins. The Heat shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And that one falls for Bosh.
You know, no denying it's been a heck of a run the last few years for the Heat, but you can't help but wonder if the impending 2014 summer of free agency could be the end of it all. The big three came together in a flash of lightning, it seemed, but it could end just as fast if one or all decide to opt out.
So he gets them both. And Clark, as you were saying, the trio of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all have options in their contracts to become free agents in 2014 if they choose to. And, Steve, you have to think that at least 1 or 2 of them might exercise that right.
Well, you know LeBron will, because he's the most underpaid athlete probably in the history of sports. He's worth 10 times what he makes. But it's going to be interesting to see what Miami does here the next couple of years with their roster.
Played here in the 3rd quarter. Here's Durant. Nice D from Chalmers.
Some rugged defense there against one of the stronger finishers in the game.
Wade gets the bucket.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, thank you. There was a lot of talk about how the Heat could improve after they lost to the Mavs in the 2011 NBA Finals. Many called for a veteran point guard, but the team felt comfortable with who they had. Coach Erik Spoelstra said, "We felt we had one of the younger point guard tandems in the league that we can build on and offer a Conference Championship minutes right now. They grew into that role and were a big part of their back-to-back titles. Spoelstra says they earned it with their hard work, and he couldn't be happier, guys.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Now a timeout called by Miami.
He did not look too happy about some of the things he saw on the court. So I would expect some changes here.
I think it's the right move, quite honestly. I mean, they just didn't look sharp or at their best out there. So take the time out and give yourself a chance to regroup.
Here's Bosh. Takes it off the glass. Bosh has got the lead up to 6 now for the Heat.
Well, they certainly didn't have much of a problem getting the ball into the post that time.
Well, that's important because this game, I think, is going to be decided by who controls the paint in crunch time. Perkins.
And it's Miami with the rebound.
Well, you never doubt the role that Kendrick Perkins plays on the team. He's there to clog up the middle, rebound, and be a physical presence. He embraces that. He excels in that role. But you know what? One of the things that he's improved on is being a better passer from the center position.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Erik Spoelstra was saying to his team. He told them that he wanted them to run their offense through Wade. Coach directly asked him to take the reins and to start to make a bigger impact than he has been to this point, saying the offense isn't the same without him leading it. He then went on to tell them he wants to use their fast break offense to its full effect, saying, we can run these guys into the ground. Perhaps the rest of the second half will look different after those adjustments, Kevin.
All right, Doris, thanks. First one falls for him. And for Perkins, still a pretty high turnover ratio for a big guy who's not asked to do a whole lot on the offensive side.
Well, he's had his share of critics. The big thing with Perkins, he's a tremendous defensive player, and you need him when you go against the big guys in the league like Tim Duncan or Roy Hibbert. So he brings a lot of value to this team at the defensive end of the floor.
And so he makes both from the line.
You know, last season, the Thunder marched their way to the top seed in the West and spent most of the season battling for that top spot with San Antonio. And it was the Thunder's play on the road that was the big difference between the two.
Out of bounds, Oklahoma City takes possession. Thunder trailing by 7. Harden outside Durant. That's it 5. Good. He hits the jump shot. You know, another note on the Thunder and the road dominance. You're always going to have to be fantastic on the road if you want to win in the West. And the Thunder, Steve, clearly the best in the West on the road.
Yeah, 26 wins for them. 2 more than the next few teams in the conference. And the only team that had more road wins than them on the year in the NBA was the Heat. So just a terrific season for the Thunder, both at home and on the road. Of course, kind of got derailed by the Westbrook injury in the playoffs. Plays a really difficult cover because if he gets anywhere near the rim, he can finish. Great strength, the ability to convert in the lane. Boy, that's tough to defend.
And it applies even if he has to absorb contact getting to the rim.
Now, here's Battier. Shot clock at 5. Here's Wade. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time.
You cannot afford to make mistakes like that here in a tight game.
Thunder trailing by 3. Westbrook with it. Now guarded by Mario Chalmers. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
There's 48 seconds left in the third quarter. And it's Durant missing.
Kevin, just enough presence to bother that three-point attempt there.
Well, for a guy that shoots like he does, I'd say that is an easy look.
Now, here's Chalmers. He's got 14. That is good.
And that assist leads him leading on from his teammate out in the basket.
Oklahoma City's gone 3-6 tonight when they let it fly from downtown. And there's a whistle that's going to go on James Harden. That's his first foul.
Well, I love it. He gets there first, absorbs the contact. Nice play defensively.
No flop there. He took that one right in the chest.
32 seconds left to play here in the third. Wade passes to LeBron. James left side. And that one hits back iron. Thunder trailing by 3. So here's Westbrook. He's got 8. And he lobs it up toward the rim. And the jam by Harden.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And that's the play we're going to remember when this game is all said and done.
And here comes LeBron. He dishes it to back. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. LeBron's got 5 assists tonight.
That's the kind of lead pass we've seen him make over and over again.
And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. Heat out front, up 3. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. And, Steve, we've got a moment here to go to our State Farm assist of the game, coming on some very clever point guard play.
Well, he mans that position for a reason, Kevin, because he passes the ball so well, sets up his teammates beautifully, really gets this offense into a nice rhythm.
Delivering the pass important, but putting the pass in the right place for shooters, as you well know, huge.
Yep, no question.
Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. Shane Battier is out there with Chris Bosh, and it's LeBron and at the small forward. That's the group in the game for the Heat.
Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them. Free throws are better than a layup.
And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Heat.
Well, they're getting into the paint with their penetration, and it's really been key for this club.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
And that one falls for Bosh.
A lot of people thought the East would be a cakewalk for Miami last year, but Indiana made sure that wasn't going to be the case. What a series with the Pacers using their size and strength to pound Miami down low, and eventually the Heat were able to pull it out, but boy, was that a tough series.
All free throws good from Bosh. And just to touch back on the Eastern Conference Finals, went to a Game 7 where Miami ran away with the game. But, you know, Clark, if it weren't for the heroics of LeBron earlier in the series, it could have been the Pacers that took on San Antonio in the finals.
You know, I was thinking a little bit about 2 former ABA teams meeting in the NBA Finals, but the Heat managed to steal Game 1, and I thought that proved to be the difference in the end. That was a game the Pacers had and didn't squeeze. The way these 2 teams are constructed, they should be seeing a lot more of each other in the near future, and I think that's great for the league because whenever they meet up in the regular season or the playoffs, it's always been a battle the last couple of years.
Nice rivalry developing
I
between
think
those
you're
2.
right.
Yeah.
A good one brewing there.
And so he draws the foul on the shot on trip to the line to shoot 2.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
Free throw good, Westbrook. And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
Well, Westbrook has been great. 10 points, and he's knocked down 5 shots at the charity stripe. Good numbers for him.
Yeah, good numbers, and that's been important for his team. They needed some points. He's provided some easy ones at the foul line, and he's making an impact here.
Bosh can't hit.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
Westbrook, no good.
Boy, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide open shot like that right in your wheelhouse.
Wade dishes the Bosh. Puts it up from 12 and misses it off the right side of the rim.
And that's a shot he had to take.
For sure, it was a good decision, just poor execution.
There's Westbrook, 18 feet away, and he knocks it down. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back.
Back and forth we go. That basket gives us another lead change.
And there have been too many of those to keep track of. What a contest.
And the Heat call time here.
You know, with the recent success of Oklahoma City, you forget that in Kevin Durant's first season, they started out going 3-29. And I'll tell you what, you talk about their success, it's due to the resilience and perseverance and leadership of Kevin Durant and the rest of those guys.
And let's get this update now from Doris, Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Erik Spoelstra was saying to his team. He wants them to pick it up and really go for it right now, saying, no time like the present, gentlemen. Embrace it. Embrace the spotlight and let's make it happen. Kevin, let's see what they can do.
We're right down to the wire here, Perkins, Steve. Still anyone's ball game.
Both teams really invested now. I mean, this is the type of game you love to win and you hate to lose it.
Boy, after all this energy that both teams have expended, you're right, Clark. This would be a tough one to win.
This game going to take a big swing. Clark at the D continues to clear out like that and give up easy dunks.
Yeah, that's the kind of defense we expect to see in a blowout, Kevin, or even an exhibition game, not a close game like this.
Look how frustrated Steve is.
Well, I just, you know what, Kevin? Come on, I just like that he didn't choose to just lay it up. I mean, he threw it down with force.
Wade with it, and it's Harden picking him up. Wade kicks to Battier. And Durant with the block. Harden lets up. And it's good. Harden's got 4 points this quarter. Well, there is a culture of hard work, as Clark is talking about, and the perseverance for this Oklahoma City Thunder organization. Their star players, Steve, get a lot of credit, but it's the whole organization, don't you think?
No question. It's the culture that was set. Scott Brooks has continued to kind of establish that atmosphere in the locker room. And they have players who just want to work and want to get better. And when you have a large group of people all with that same approach, you're going to be very successful.
Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. They lead by 1. 1:58 left in the fourth quarter. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, during that break, Coach Scott Brooks had some words for his team. There was no question what he was most concerned with, their lack of interior defense so far. Protect the rim, that's the priority, quote unquote. It's pretty late in the game to be altering the game plan, but they're going to come out with a different look here, guys. Back to you.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. Their teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make in a close game, a potential momentum builder.
A minute 50 left here in the fourth quarter. Feeds the Bucks. Good ball movement here by the Heat. Leads for it. Durant with the steal. Chalmers against Westbrook. He takes it down. And low to Ibaka. Now the feed to Westbrook. Perkins. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. And it's a 5-point Thunder lead. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stance for the Thunder?
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And the other thing, guys, defensively, a great job of closing out and blocking shots.
Here's James after the made shot from Perkins. Pocket 4. Battier fires. Again, the Heat good for 2. Oh, Mary. Listen to that. That shot eliciting a roar from this crowd.
That was huge, guys.
huge.
Now, here's Harden. Ibaka, the pass to Harden. He feeds it to Perkins. Another shot. Ibaka pushes to Perkins. And Durant, here we go. It falls! For Miami, they've gone 3 of 6 in the field so far in the fourth quarter. Here's LeBron and Durant with the block. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. On defense, Oklahoma City. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter. James against Durant. Steps back and shoots. It's good! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3. And he commits the intentional foul. Seconds left to play in the final quarter. And an intentional foul right there.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. That's the enemy in this situation. If he misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
Free throw is good, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. Second one is good, and both at the line. It's a 5-point game.
2-possession game now, so strategically everything changes a little bit. Those were very important foul shots.
And the Heat call time here. They're behind by 5. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. What's your take, guys?
Well, they need to draw something up here. I think they'll go for a quick 2. And if not, maybe break somebody free for a long 3-pointer.
And they have to know they need to foul right after the shot goes in as well.
Get open!
Durant against James. There's the dish to Bosh. Can't get it to go. Great D that time from Perkins. And that's an intentional foul. And that increases their lead to 6. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game.
Well done at the free throw line. I'll tell you what, that will make things a lot easier on them if they can continue to convert.
Here's Battier. No good from outside. Got the defender off his feet with the pump fake, but couldn't knock it down. So it's Oklahoma City picking up the win. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game.
Well said. And so now we'll go down to Doris Burke, who's standing by live with our Jordan Player of the Game. Doris?
Gentlemen, I'm here with James Harden. Congratulations on the win, James. And what did it take for the team to make the push necessary to put yourselves in position to win tonight?
Just being aggressive. I told my guys on the court that we had to make a run. It had to be a good one. Defensively, we did a pretty good job down the stretch. We got some shots to fall and came with the victory.
It was a decisive run, James. Thanks for the time. Guys, back to you.
Doris, thank you. And for Steve Kerr, Mark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great 2K Sports crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us as Jordan presents our player of the game, James Harden.